Hey guys, this is Kelly. Mari and I are back with another process video, and for this week's challenge we thought we would do a patriotic page since Canada Day is coming up and July 4th as well. So that is what we are going to be doing. I rated my stash for this, and that was probably the longest part of this layout. I had in my kits, I didn't have either the right color blue or the right color red, and the embellishments weren't exactly what I wanted for this page, so it took me a while to just even try to find papers that I liked. And you know, of course, the last place you look is, you know, finally where you find it. But that blue paper and the wood grain paper are both from Hip Kit. They were exclusives, and I believe they were made by Kim Watson. And once I found those two sheets of pattern paper, everything else kind of fell into play. So this is a piece of notebook paper, but it's actually paper designed to look like a notebook, but it's that thin notebook feeling. Anyway, I punched the edges and I had to cut out quite a bit of it because it really did not want to punch well at all. I'm not sure if something's wrong with my punch or if it was just with this paper. I'm going to have to troubleshoot it and, you know, punch through some aluminum foil and see if I can sharpen that back up. And hopefully that's all that it is needs to have done to it. But anyway, I love that wood grain paper, and I just really thought it was pretty, but I didn't like it with the strips of pattern paper on the side. So I thought maybe I would switch the background up to this yellow paper that I had found, and I did not like that. And I decided that the problem with the layout was the fact that I really loved the wood grain and I wanted more of it to show. So I switched it out to the large piece of pattern paper that I had left. And then I decided I wanted to have a blue strip of the arrow paper on each side, but I had already cut the background mat for the photo, and what that meant is that I did not have a 12-inch strip with the arrows going the right way. I wanted everything to go horizontal with this page because, you know, the flag behind the girl's picture, the stripes are horizontal, the wood grain's horizontal. I just really felt like it would not look as cohesive if the arrows were going a different way. So what I managed to do was just trim that half-inch strip in half, and that way I could use a 1/4 inch on each side. It still looks like I have, you know, a full sheet of blue paper underneath the wood grain. It really helps to pop off the wood grain off the white cardstock, and it also just, you know, to me makes the layout look a little bit more cohesive. So I just pulled out my Pink Fresh Studio letter stickers. I believe it's Indigo Hills is the collection name. I love this blue. I know that I have used these stickers before with some various layouts, and I have said it then. This shade of blue is gorgeous, and I really wish that more companies would use this more frequently. It seems like maybe once every couple years there will be something that comes out in this color. And this past year I know Maggie Holmes had a piece of paper with that color in it, and then that Pink Fresh Studio collection, and I just have loved it. So I pulled out the Pink Fresh Studio chipboard hearts that I had with this collection as well, thinking I might work those onto the page, but I never do. They just sit to the side and look pretty, but I will definitely get those onto another page. So this is a paper, I believe it is Studio Calico Sunkissed or Sundrifter, something along those lines. I'm not sure. It has been in my stash for years, and when I say years, it's probably 5 years old, if not more. So, you know, like I said, I really went digging to find things that I liked for this scheme. So I am liking the way that it's starting to come together. I'm still not quite sure on my embellishments. I went ahead and I pulled some different things. I have an old cut apart sheet. I believe that was also from Studio Calico, and I have not been a member of that club for maybe 4 or 5 years as well. So it's old, and there's some Freckled Fawn goodies. I pulled a flare button that I just got from an Etsy shop that I'll link up in the description box, and just some wood veneer stars, just little bits and pieces that I was trying to pull out to make this a little bit more cohesive. So when I was trying to decide what I wanted for the title, I could not come up with anything original, so I just decided that I would name it All Stars, and I bumped the title to the top of the page. Normally I would put it below the photo, but I've been trying to, just tweak things just a bit. If I have a page that I'm doing stuff that seems very similar, I want to try to do something to change it up, and putting the title for me on top of the photo is definitely changing it up. Plus, as a different look for me, using the pattern paper as like 2/3 of the page and not using white cardstock for the main part, that's changing it up for me. So those were a couple of my goals with this layout as well. So I'm just trying to get the layers in the right position where I want for my title, and I was thinking that that would be a good position, but when I pulled out this flare button, I decided it needed something else to ground it, and in just a second you will see that I am going to move the photo cluster and the papers up like 1/2 inch. I felt like the flare button needed to have that label to help ground it and to bring a 3rd cluster, but now everything was too close to the bottom and it just needed to be shifted up just a hair, and that gave everything to have a little bit more breathing room. So I'm just going to go through now and make my final choices of what to use and where. I ended up with some wood veneer in all of the clusters. I found these beautiful blue enamel dots by Basic Gray that I'm going to put in a couple of the clusters, and that's pretty much it. So I forgot to say why I chose this photo. It's not necessarily a July 4th photo, but for us, we're a softball family. My daughter started playing when she was 9, and I want to say just about every year since she started playing softball, we have either been on a field or have a game the next day, or practicing and stuff like that. So this time of year is always associated with softball for us. So it was one of those things that it really was a no-brainer. We typically don't do a lot now for July 4th because there's softball the next morning, and if you have an 8 o'clock game that you have to be there at 7 to start warming up, and let's just say nobody does good with out sleep. So anyway, that's why my photo's not necessarily what one would consider a patriotic theme, although for like I said, if you play sports, especially baseball, softball, I'm sure that baseball moms can understand how this is where we live during this time, and I really wouldn't have it any other way. So that's it for me today. I do have some close-ups at the end, and if you haven't stopped by Mari's channel yet, be sure and check out her channel as well. I can't wait to see what she comes up with. She always has a great page and always brings me inspiration, and we love to hear when we bring you inspiration as well. So I hope you guys will join us with this challenge, and you can also find us on the Facebook group Scrap O'Clock. We will post our pages there and encourage you to participate. So thanks so much for joining us today. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.